Welcome to another video of Walk with Phil, and today I'm in Wednesbury. In fact, I'm going to be taking a walk down CRANKHALL Lane. Now, I did come down CRANKHALL Lane a few months back during the Christmas period, having a look at the lights, and some of the lights were glorious, weren't they? Those Christmas lights down Carrington Road and all the other areas around there. They really did make a wonderful sight over Christmas. But I thought I'd come back today and do the whole of CRANKHALL Lane. And yeah, there's a bit of history down CRANKHALL Lane for sure. And yeah, there used to be the top end where JH Lavender is. That's the beginning of some industrialisation at the top end. You go down the bottom end of CRANKHALL Lane, there used to be far more industries down there. So we're going to have a look at those. And yeah, so let's go and take a look down CRANKHALL Lane here in Wednesbury. So we're going to go down CRANKHALL Lane here in Wednesbury. It's quite a sunny, hot sunny afternoon, and it's a Wednesday, and we're still in April. And thought I'd just start here. Thought I'd just begin here and just check out a few of these shops here in Westminster. What is it, Westminster Road? And we've got something called Oscott Pets. I don't think that's trading any longer. And all these with shutters on. I thought the one there is just to let. There's a pizza shop there. That one probably opens in the evening. We've got a mini market there. This seems quite popular there, just on the corner. And we're just here. I'm standing outside all these fancy new apartments. But once a pub store there called the Golden Lion, which used to have its own, which opened in 1938, and it had its own skittle alley and pigeon club. It closed in 2003 and got demolished in 2007. And there's another chicken shack there on the corner called, well, I don't know what sort of name you'd call that. Quality Chicken. It's probably one of those again that opens in the evening as a takeaway. Just over there we've got the Chip Box. Now, I don't remember it being called the Chip Box. I think that's had one or two different names over the years. We've got a newsagent's next door, which is quite unusual. Although, of course, it is also a convenience store, just like this one here. Everywhere you go now, shops don't really sell anything but food or a haircut. There's one right next door to Ruby News called Haircut, and that's quite imaginative, isn't it? And that one, I presume, is a Turkish barber. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight ahead, just down there, CRANKHALL Lane. I don't know what I'm going to find. I did come here over Christmas a few months back, just to cover the lights. And there's another place where we'll be visiting fairly soon, Bromwich Hall, once known as the Manor House. And I'm just going to show you this factory just on the corner of CRANKHALL Lane, and it's called JH Lavender. And JH stands for John Herbert and Company, and it's an aluminium die caster, and the business here opened in 1917. Oh, and before I continue, let's have a quick look in Haircut. Not much activity going on in there. Di's Diner here, cafe, and that's a Chinese takeaway. Yeah, this company, JH Lavender and Company Limited, yeah, been here since 1917, and it was set up for the motorcycle industry back in the day, displaying its red and white corporate colours there on the signage. And talking of signage, look at that there, JH Lavender and Company. I would like to think that was still the original from 1917. Aston Court here with all these very new apartments. CRANKHALL Lane is a very busy road because we know if you just go left, if you go left at the island there, it'll take you into Stone Cross. Going this way, you'll end up in the main area of Wednesbury town. CRANKHALL Lane itself, parts of the lane actually form the boundary between Wednesbury and West Bromwich. And you can see a factory going back quite some way. We're at quite a bit of an elevation point just here as CRANKHALL Lane begins to go downhill, and we're looking at all these houses here. A lot of the council properties, when they're built, they had very long frontages, and this one, and you always think to yourself, why? Mind you, it was some kind of architectural reason for why they, or structural reason for why they put these houses lying back and not in a straight line with this block and that block there. With these lying back, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 houses here. The line back, it gives them even more frontage, and of course most of the frontages these days are all tarmacked to get the cars off the road. I tell you what, CRANKHALL Lane is a right place and a half to try and park. They look more modern over that side, and just here ahead of me will be the canal, the Tame Valley Canal. The Tame actually so called because the River Tame runs not far from here. This canal is 8.5 miles long, and it was relatively late to the party, was this particular stretch of the canal. It was construction began in Wednesbury in 1841, and it was finally opened in 1844. And it's you can see what a clear view we got of this canal. You can see on both sides it's got it's navigable, and it's also got twin towpaths either side, which is, I'm not sure if that's an unusual, if it's unusual not for canals, but you can see there's a kind of a bridge or something that used to be there, but there no longer. And it runs from between Walsall to Birmingham. I mean, most of the canals, early 1700s. But that one, 1844. The houses to my right, as I mentioned last time I come along here, in the cold months of December, I was mentioning these houses there, built quite high over there. On that bank to my right, bit of work going on this house, isn't there? It's almost like a new house. This is Adelaide Way. Those houses down the bottom of Adelaide Way look very close to being underneath some electric pylons. I'll just show you, just beyond Adelaide Way there used to be sand pits. There was a lot of sand pits, and what you call it, there was a CRANKHALL Lane brickworks. That was on the right just before we reached the canal. A company down here called Ellis. I'm seeing a lot of this lately, you know, these street signage here. There's obviously nothing on it, so don't know the name of this road. There's a company called Ellis just at the bottom there. Just coming up to a few shops now here on the left. A very popular place, this one. Karma hardware. It's popular because it doesn't sell food. It sells something entirely different, look. It sells brooms, brushes, buckets, bins, a few plants. Calagas, planters, pots. There's a stationery store. Well, it sells cards. And this one's a good place, isn't it, if you want a new oven. There's a fishing place. These are quite interesting stores here, just here, aren't they? Except when we come here, we got another takeaway. And this one's Dankert's Florist, another popular shop. And we've got Cabin Wines, I presume that opens in the evening. And a tattoo studio. Back in my day, you know, in the 70s, 80s, you know, you never saw a tattoo studio. You'd be surprised now not to see one. Always a very busy petrol station over there, Mirko. And look what we got right on the corner there, a Turkish Barbers. Of all the places, eh? And we got a bus coming up here. Oh, we got Morrison's Daily just here as well. I didn't know we got a Morrison's. And that one's called the Chopping Block. I thought that was another hairdresser's for a minute. Yeah, a shuttle bus here. Going through the estates of Wednesbury. I missed the number. And this is Rambo's. It's an off licence, and there's an hairdresser's. Yeah, look, Peaky Blinders. No, it's not. It's Peaky Barbers. Just there. And we got, what's this one? Sunset Tints. Something to do with wrapping your car. And Rambo's off licence. Again, it's more really a convenience store, isn't it? You can see a lot of many of the old council properties have all but gone along here now, and we've got some very more contemporary, modern looking townhouses. Whilst these on my left are still quite old, aren't they? We've got a few more shops here on my left. These have all changed apparently. Big shout out to someone I met earlier along here. His name is Grant. He doesn't live too far from here, and he gave me a bit of information what some of these shops used to be, but my memory being so poor, probably forgotten now. I think this used to be a spa. That place there with the shutter, that was a laundrette, I think. With the Wednesbury, was this the pizza? That may have been a newsagent's. The post office has always been there. There's a toddler house there, and that used to be a butcher's apparently. We've got an old post box here. I'd like to have a look at these because that one's got George Range. What that? George the 5th. No, George the 6th, that one. Post box. This was a really popular shop just here, but I mean, look at it now, eh? It's just another vape store. Next to that is probably a takeaway that was in the evening, masala, but this was the return shop, wasn't it? Was it Firkins? People be queued all the way down the street on a Sunday to go and get their return cakes from there. Very popular. Oh, sadly, those days are gone now. Firkins long gone. The factory's still there in Black Lake. Yeah, dog grooming parlour there, look. And this is MOT place. This one's called Open Heaven of Wednesbury. It's an Open Heaven Pentecostal church. It's rather a newer building, this one here. This is the Friar Park Pharmacy. I tell you what, pharmacies, how popular are they? One of the most popular shops in town, a pharmacies. Prescriptions galore. And because of which this one is rather big, because it's attached to the, I don't know what this is, it's a medical centre anyway, village medical centre. Doctors used to operate on their own, didn't they? But now they're large sprawling practices now. Medical practice consisting of half a dozen doctors these days. They don't work very long, you know. I mean, those of us who do work in full-time jobs doing, 35 plus hours a week, a GP, what's their average working week? What? I don't know, 20 hours? 15, 20 hours? Most of their doctors in the practice will cover each other. I'm not sure if all doctors are there all at the time in the practice, but I know some of the doctors have got a very favourite hobby called golf. It's this time of the year now when you start hearing garden equipment, strimmers, lawnmowers, especially on a Sunday afternoon. If you want to sit in your garden and chill, you're going to be lucky, aren't you? It's just somebody's got loud radios on, loud music, lawnmowers buzzing and strimmers going, you know. Yes. Now Lidl, before Lidl was built on there used to be a pub on there called the Coronation. It was a Mitchells and Butlers pub. He'd been there since 1937. But it was in 1996 I think it closed, but then it was demolished in 1997. I didn't know it was that long ago. But now as you can see, it's a large sprawling supermarket. And there's a green area there to break up all these roads, look. Going to the left, to the right, straight on. There's two here either side of this green space. There's another one down there. There's another one here. There's road straight ahead. All converging just on this spot. I'm assuming there is Coronation Road ahead of me. This one I think is called Price Street. Or is it Price Road? Sometimes you can see the names of the streets put on the sides of houses, council properties, but this one's devoid of any signage at all. There used to be signage here, but look, as you can see, it's been taken off, removed, whatever, but never been replaced. Never been replaced. And we've got some shops just over here. Look, we've got the fish and chip shop. Be careful how you say this one. It's the Regina fish and chip shop. Next door, yet another convenience store called Go Local. And we've got what's Tip Top? I don't know. Look at somebody. Oh, I think it's a Chinese takeaway, isn't it? Tip Top. Tip Top. I mean, yeah, it is. It's a Tip Top. I mean, what sort of name is that for a Chinese takeaway? Tip Top. I don't know. Anyway, CRANKHALL Lane now begins to bend to the right. What's that one? That street over there? It's called Lancaster Avenue. And you can see, look at the frontage on this one. Some of the frontages on some of these council properties back in the day, the frontage is as long as a noble residential property in the country. Well, like slight exaggeration. Again, And some of the back of the houses as well are quite long. This is the Friar Park Villas, and you can see just here where they've done a new facade on the front of that house. It's obscured the signage of CRANKHALL Lane. There's no, you can't see a date on Friar Park Villas. They usually put a date on there, but there isn't one on there. And we've got something called Diggers, News and Booze. Diggers. I dare say it's another one of those small convenience stores as well. And what's that one called? Gloucester Road, just up there? No, we've had a Lancaster Road and a Gloucester Road. Do you think they were named after those World War II bombers? Lancaster and the Gloucester, very famous aeroplanes from the Second World War. And we've got the River Tame just here. I think this is William Green Road, I think. Nice to see, we've got a street sign. A little bit bent, but nevertheless. And you can see, it's quite straight, isn't it? Got all the trees either, well, mainly trees down there. Not sure we can see much of the river, but let's have a look, see if we can see the River Tame. Yeah, there's plenty of water in there. Yeah, plenty of water in the River Tame as it makes its way under this bridge over there to the other side. We got one or two shops there. We got a tanning and beauty parlour. Oh, we've always got one of them. We've got every one of those. And I don't know, what's that next door? Is it a bike shop, is it? Cycle shop? Be interesting if it was, but it looks closed. It's got closed on the window, on the door. A little cafe there. Buttylicious. Do you know when you're walking around the streets of the Black Country now, there's so much noise from these noisy exhaust pipes. Some of them decide they want to the louder the better. Now we've got a strange one here, number 322, just here, just over the road from Buttylicious. It looks condemned, doesn't it? But somebody's put a barber shop pole on the house. Don't know where it belongs to. Some signage on it. And this is the PM Barber Club. Another one of those turkey barbers. And we got another fruit and shop market here. Now am I right in thinking that this place used to be Proton Cars? I think it was a car showroom. And we've got a chip shop over there next to Buttylicious. It's the Island House. A new image next to that. I can't see from here. Could be another hairdresser's, would it? But yeah, I'm sure this used to be something to do with Proton Cars back in the 80s. The pub there, the Brunswick, that's still standing. Hasn't befallen the same fate as the Coronation. And there's another one there called Chicago Pizza. I think that's Woden Road East. No, this is where it became a lot more industrial because, you know, you look at some of these factories, they've been here years and years, mid 1850s, a lot of them. And this one was what would this one have been? Could have been the Imperial Tube Works, Isaac Griffiths and Sons, this one. Closed I think they closed in the 60s. but now they look like it's a car wash. And I'm presuming that the factory itself has probably got 1 or 2 units trading as something else now, but this is called the Superhand car wash. Here you can see the Brunswick. Doesn't look open at the moment, does it? No cars on the car park. I presume it's still trading. You can have a wash and wax here for £4. I think that only applies to your car and not for yourself. And you can see down here, look at that, all that new kind of properties down there, all those townhouses and apartments. That was built on an old factory site there. Yeah, the Imperial Tube Works was known by the name of Isaac Griffiths and Sons. You can see it goes quite a way down here. I think this is Friar Street, is it? And this side was the South Staff Tube Works, built here in 1857 on this corner. And it was Thomas Pritchard and Sons who ran the South Staff Tube Works in 1857. It closed, I think, in the 1960s. Down the bottom, down there are all those apartments. I could be wrong here, but I think that may have been the Hope Patent Tube Works, owned by James McDougall in 1869. He used to make bicycle frames down there, which you can see now. All residential. Wednesbury, of course, is very famous for tubes. Another very famous tube company was the Crown Tube Works up on the High Bullen. But to think that there was 3 of them around here at one time. He got pigeons on his car, look. I used to have a soft top car, and every morning I come out to the car, there's always a cat sleeping on top of it. On top of your soft top car. Anyway, it's a little bit quieter here. We've got a cut through here to some of the properties down the back there. We've almost finally reached the end of our journey along CRANKHALL Lane. And as you can see ahead of me now is the bridge that marks the end of CRANKHALL Lane, and as you go under the bridge you enter Brunswick Park Road, and beyond that you've got Brunswick Park. Anyway, look, we've got I think it was part of the South Staffordshire Railway line, this one. It closed to passengers. Very early days, what, 60s, early 70s, I'm not sure. But the freight did die off. But there was still the odd freight train that used to trundle over this bridge up to Warsaw from Frowndoak up until the 90s. And looking to me, it looks like there's houses built on the old track now up there. There used to be an old Sigma box just at the top of the embankment. And the line would trundle its way along to Warsaw to the right. And this road is called Oldbury Street. Amazingly, there's a road sign. Well, I'll tell you what, it's a very hot day today. It's a Wednesday afternoon, and CRANKHALL Lane in Wednesbury is bathed in sunshine, and CRANKHALL Lane is very busy indeed. Well, what can you say about CRANKHALL Lane? It's lovely to see that the J.H. Lavender company is still trading at the top end there. Sad to see the Golden Lion had disappeared many years ago, but it's still a lively place, is CRANKHALL Lane. You'd have to be living here to decide whether you think things have changed for the better or for the worse, but it doesn't look too bad actually. The shops themselves are very much like run-of-the-mill in many of the towns that we see up and down the Black Country, you know, with its convenience stores and Turkish barbers. We've got all those now these days. But nevertheless, there was a surprising variety here and there. But anyway, we'll leave it at that. And so if you like the video, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and hit the notification bell for new videos. I'll see you on the next one.